Howdy, howdy. I'm gonna make this quick. Just a little short introduction of what video mine would be a video without walking and talking. I've been back for 24 hours now. I've had a lot of time to think. But, more on that after the meat and bones of the upcoming video, which is the longest, biggest, hardest thing I've ever had in my hands. But it's also raw and juicy. And I just went deep in there. And let it all come out. But, the first little bit is, the first little bit is maybe about 5-6 hours after I finally got back. And, I had some time to myself after initial, drag of the trip back wore off and I got a couple hours of sleep. My initial wave of thoughts, but it was still something fresh in my mind. They're probably sentimental and all that crap, but it's apparently what mattered to me at the time, and I'm not going to cut any of it out, so it is what it is, the good and bad. But I'm not going to journey on with this video, because I'm going to get back to briskly taking a walk, and then whatever, I'm feeling froggy, whatchamacallit, I might attempt to take a jog, or run, but Prestonsburg, at least this little bit of it, isn't necessarily good for either one of those two. But, after the initial thought video, there was like a 45-ish minute long thing about where I was. And then after that, there's going to be a rather decent light slideshow of a bunch of pictures and stuff I took when I was up there with like captions. And at the end of that, just more, a final epilogue, but, this little introduction's already going on long enough, so let's just get right into it. If you end up making it all the way through, I applaud you, but, here it goes. Oh, fuck. Ugh. I need to get some water, man. I decided to go ahead and go out and about for a couple hours with no monies, but whatever. YOLO! Boop. Hello. Is this thing working? Hello? What's up? I'm back here in Prestonsburg after being a month up there in Michigan. Traverse City, Llano, Benzonia County. I never could get them right. I just know I was way up there. The sun shone for like 20 hours out a day. It's still February weather down here. It's 95 even right now. But I got back here about 5 o'clock this morning. And it's too early to say if it was a life-changing experience, but it was an experience and a great adventure all the same. And a lot of lessons learned. It opened up my eyes. And I've done a lot of cool things, met a lot of great people, and I'm gonna say it now. If any of yous are watching, I do apologize for lack of a better term, not being prepared and cutting my losses. Um, a little bit of context after my woofing. I haven't thought about woofing after a couple days of being up there. Um, I, decided to see if I can make it up there, and while I easily could have, I just wasn't prepared financially, mentally, or anything like that, even though I had a lot of support. But sometimes things just go as planned, and it's best to pull out before you're in too deep about Chicka Bow Wow. And I've always been the kind of guy that just, yeah, no excuses, that's what it is. No love lost, I had a freaking great time up there. Tim, he's a really cool dude, Timothy Young there, who initially messaged me about 2 months ago about coming up. I thank you, really, for giving me a shot and bullshitting with you and whatnot. John, up there, you'd be right at home here, dude. Right at home. Um, so you're a really cool dude. I thank you for helping me out and for not saying I'm a real shitty worker and mostly strong. And then, just a couple other random people out and about. I don't know your names, but I do remember just how welcome even our short little brief time span was. And probably most of all, you'll see her in the upcoming little practically documentary we made of the place we were staying at. Ash. Um, she's pretty fucking cool. I wish her nothing but love and happiness and best of whatever comes her way. And yeah, we had a lot of fun together. And it didn't dawn on me till I got here amongst, the locals and whatnot. And even talking to my mom and brothers. Um, me and Asher were a lot alike, and there were numerous times where I'm like, is this what it's like to put up with me? The snarkiness, the sassiness, going 1,000 miles an hour. So, Ash, if or when you're watching this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And, never forget, you're pretty fucking cool. And I still like your face. But yeah, besides them great people who welcomed me, trusted me, I do feel kind of bad for just, going. But sometimes it be like that, and, all that said and done, it was nothing but a positive experience. If I'm able to, I'll go back up again. It's just, it wasn't gonna work out. But, I learned a lot about manure, or compost, something about nitrogen. I drove a stick shift, a diesel, got my musical mojo back up and running. Hopefully I can find myself a real guitar soon. No, a little slightly above off-brand, make. Because I did have an offer at a country club, Sleeping Bear Dunes or whatever, to work in their kitchen, cook, and be part of their kitchen band. But that once again goes to being unprepared. I can sing, I can play a little bit of anything, but if you're not ready for it, then you're not ready for it. And I think that's like the biggest lesson I've learned is you just gotta get your feet wet, dig your heels in, and sometimes it's best to get the hell out of Dodge and then come back to try another day. But other than that, it's like there's always something going on up there. There's a lot of people, you know, all shapes, sizes, colors. You know, I, I didn't feel unwelcome at any time. And any time I was pouting or whatever, that was my own bullshit. But the area's beautiful. I got a little tired of eating cherries and asparagus. Cause the second I got through the door, I just downed a whole bag of pizza rolls, man. Like 30 of them. And like 2 Coca-Colas. But I did slim down to get 10, so I plan on running about 10 miles tomorrow. Keep that momentum going. Especially since, you know, it's fucking 90 out. But, yeah. I'm always willing to give it another go if I'm able to. But for now, I'm just gonna relish the experience, take what I learned and, you know, what it kind of molded me into. You know, it grew my confidence a little bit. It showed me it's okay to fuck up. It showed me, or it taught me it's okay to not be the best. But I also gotta work my ass off to do what I know I'm capable of doing, as long as the opportunity is there, or create it if the opportunity to do that is there as well. But I can't say enough good things about it. Immediately, you know, it just a week sleeping out in the tent. It was great and all, it just wasn't viable at the moment. Other people had other things going on. It just happens. So, but yeah, the lakes were nice. My first time up there in that big of a body of water. I'm still, even though I'm, you know, only been down here a couple hours here back in Kentucky, it's gonna take a while to shake off the fact that our sun rose at 6 in the morning, and sometimes on like a clear night it didn't settle until like 11. Like, what else? It's kind of weird seeing mountains again. A lot of coal. That's where I'm at right now. You know, train tracks, and there's a coal refinery right there. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to unwind from where I just was, you know, 700 miles ago. Because admittedly, it tends to be pretty close-minded around here, whereas compared to up there, there's always shit going on. Always. It's just a big road out there, and the road can be yours if you want it. You believe in yourself, and all that jazz. But by the same token, if people are willing to help you out, sometimes you just gotta put your trust in them without question. And whenever I was on my way to Detroit last night, I got there at about 8 o'clock, and you know, it's another lesson I learned, and it's going to stick with me. Because I have a very bad habit of not trusting people and whatnot. And even though things were kind of like, up there, yeah. This is sounding like an apology video, but it's lessons learned, you know? And I really don't care who watches this. This is just more of a video time capsule to me. That way, years from now, whenever I watch it, whenever I'm still kicking it down here, or up there, or I can be in fucking Sweden this time of year from now. But it's definitely could possibly be, maybe sort of kind of, the biggest adventure I've ever went on. I worked my ass off, I had a great time. The beaches, the woods, the people, the art. it just, and then being back here, it's a weird mixture of, I'm glad to be where I know best, but at the same time, I wasn't really looking forward to coming back here at all. But I guess that's what adventures are for, right? You learn the ups and downs, the heartbreaks, the triumphs, and all that other stuff. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. At this point, I'm just pretty much repeating, but I'm still processing it all. Then I'm still kind of slap happy because I didn't get no sleep until about 8:30 this morning because the buses were crowded. But yeah, I'm gonna play that little video, or not little, but the video starring I'm just gonna call it the farm. I mean, that's what we called it up there. I'm gonna refer to it as food for thought. Took a little tour of the area. The lovely Miss Ashley will be your tour guide. Ignore my commentary. I don't think she swore the entire time she was talking. And the second I said shit, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll keep this respectful. Even though I've already dropped a couple F-bombs, but I was never too safe for work anyways. But, yeah. I'm gonna stop rambling here. And to anybody watching this or my future self, if I could sum this adventure up in one word, it would be... If I can sum it up in one word, it would be... grand. It was just grand. Everything about it. The people, the wildlife, the experience, all that jazz. The negatives, the positives. A grand lesson, I guess, because lesson works as well, so there you go, 2 words. It was a grand lesson that is going to stick with me. And for better or worse, it is what it is. That being said, I would love to go back up there. And, yeah. Alright. Now for the Miss Lovely Ashley. Howdy, howdy.
Videos from when it was just me on the property and it was like super cold and I'm like all bundled up in 1.5 million layers, zipping down to see the pigs.
Oh, don't you look just majestic there, buddy?
Oh, sure does.
Yep. Already rolling, by the way. I just decided to go ahead and do it. So, why don't you introduce yourself to the 3 people that would be checking this out?
To the what people?
To the 3 people that would be watching.
I thought you said the Cree people. And I was like,
The
are we Cree now?
Oh, I mean, we can be. I mean, are we shapeshifters?
We could be. Come on, Lucky! You're such a good boy! This is my buddy Lucky. I call him Lucky Ducky. Yeah, you're such a good boy. Let's go on adventures.
Yeah. She's not part of the Stumbly crew, though.
Oh, I'm part of the Stumbly crew. This is my garden and planting shed.
Is it now? Well, what's in your garden and collecting shed?
Pardon?
What have we got in there?
Oh, well, all of these. So these right here are these are wild daffodils, and over here is a rose bush, which I'm pretty sure Kathy planted. And right where my buddy Franklin is walking, I spread a whole bunch of random wildflower seeds. So the intention, actually I should repaint this year. The intention is that it's going to be a gigantic wildflower garden around here. So I planted some more over here by the tulips and the other daffodils. And then those two, all the tulips on the property are bulbs that came from Amsterdam. So when Timothy would go over to, or not Amsterdam, I'm sorry, Holland. So whenever he would go travel over there, he would bring tulip bulbs back. Ooh, we need to harvest some rhubarb so we can have rhubarb pie.
I like pie.
I forgot my shears. But last year, this was just a catch-all storage shed. Now it is the seed starting and planting shed. This is my happy place.
Oh!
Yes, be careful. So during the summer,
Mother!
it's very small. But, so yeah, this was one of the things that we accomplished last year, was cleaning that out and making it functional. Let's see.
How about your big old rock over here?
My big old rock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the perennial garden, or the perennial / herb garden. This is...
Well, it's sprouted a good bit since we've been here.
this is rhubarb, so I actually need to cut some of this down, and then Timothy will make us rhubarb pie.
That leaves bigger than your head.
I know. And then this is hollyhock, I believe. Stone crop, more tulips. These peonies, oh my gosh, they're about to bloom! So ants on the peonies are a really good sign. It means that it's healthy.
Ants.
And actually, Timothy's ex-wife Kathy planted these, and she always had a really, really hard time getting them to bloom. And I remember him telling me that last year. So then it's really exciting to be back here this year, and it's like, oh my gosh! When Kathy was here, she was so excited to see them blooming. Did you knock the petals off my tulip?
Maybe, as I was just walking by. Oh no, my bad.
Yeah, here we've got. So, yeah, there's some mint and, yeah, hollyhock and a bunch of other stuff in here. And this is the next big thing. I really need to get the edges in, because see how much quackgrass has already spread since we took the edging out?
Yep.
I really, really need to get that done. This is our berry patch.
What kind of berries we got going in here?
Blackberries, raspberries. So the first, this row right here are the newest berries. I think these are like the second year berries. And then there's 2 more rows that go all the way back and all the way back over to where your camper is. So yeah, it goes all the way back there to that pathway. One of Timothy's golf balls.
There's been all kind of golf balls blooming lately.
During the routing. Oh, it's Lucky Ducky barking. He'll be okay. He likes being outside. Then these are all the fruit trees, which I need to remulch. That's on my list of things to do. But this is, I think it's a peach. This one I think is a peach too. This one, this big one right here is the mulberry tree. So it's really awesome because during the summer we'll just put a giant blanket underneath the tree and shake it, and then Timothy makes us mulberry pie. So it's awesome because we eat everything here. This is just a little happy apple tree. The wild leek fields all the way back here. Michigan State University and I think they partner with another group too. They're doing a longitudinal study on this area of the property because leeks are so often not harvested correctly. So people will go in and they'll grab a bunch of leeks, not realizing that they're actually damaging the plant and damaging the area. And leeks only come up I think they take like 3 years to mature. So it's pretty cool that there's this protected space back there. But yeah, I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last summer. I need to rake it out a bunch.
And we got a bunch of dirt and compost and everything.
This is the soccer barn, or we call it the soccer barn.
Soccer barn? What's it called, a soccer barn?
Because, so all of the materials and everything that he has used to build his property has all been repurposed or reclaimed. He's including his house.
Mm-hmm.
So the framing of this shed is built out of 2 old soccer goals. I don't remember if like the school was closing or if they were just redoing their goals or something, but that's how he ended up with all the piping and the framing for this. And, you know, I'm not sure where he got the metal, but yeah, he's built everything on here from 99.9% reclaimed materials, which is the whole goal. Yep. Tractor barn. Your place. Let's see. Compost business to the left. And actually, this is so much bigger than last year.
Got a customer going on.
Well, it did extend up almost to where that pile is.
Mm-hmm.
But then we put, like, as people buy it, and you have to move the compost around and rotate it in order for it to be properly processed. Eventually, it got kind of pushed back and extended a little bit over there. And we ended up taking out a bunch of trees over here to extend it. So now this part, we spent a good deal of time, like, it's really, really fertile, amazing soil because it's got the compost business on top of it. So we planted a bunch of grass to make this more of the Airbnb area.
So what's these 2 big things over there? You spend a lot of time there?
Oh,
what's going on there?
The hoop houses?
Yeah. This is where you're at 99% of the time.
Yes. Definitely. I'm in the dirt 99% of the time. The only reason I'm wearing shoes right now is because I have to go to work later and I don't feel like being super dirty. So there's also 3 Airbnbs on the property. This is one of them. And then there's Airstream on the other side as well. So yeah, these are the hoop houses. They are 20 feet long by, or 20 feet wide by 80 feet long. So it's quite a bit of space. And then last year, what we had here, we had to, Timothy had to push it down in order to get like the snowplow and stuff through. So that stinks. But last year we had a gigantic hugel mound right here that extended about here and came up to about here. So the Hugel Mound is where we dug a trench, and then we took some decaying logs and we buried them underneath the ground with the idea that like you have this mound and over time you're putting these logs in it and the soil gets richer and richer and richer because you're just adding more on top of it. So it kind of stinks that we had to level it out, but the logs are still buried under there. These are some of my plants that came up from last year. Well, that's a weed, but I'm pretty sure this is the Marvel. It's one of my pollinator mixes, or it could be some leftover pumpkin seeds because we had corn and edamame, and then like right where I'm standing was the pollinator garden. I planted this last year, and then starting here, you can still kind of see the divots and see the swoop. But we did the Three Sisters, which is corn, squash, and beans, which is based on Native American practices, because the corn is the support, the squash covers the squash and the pumpkins cover the ground and provide cover from the weeds, and then the peas, the beans grow up the stalk, so they all support each other. So there are Three Sisters. So we did a bunch of that last year. Back on that end where all the weeds are was the pumpkin patch. And then where the trench is where we had the potatoes. So it'll be interesting. So basically, at this time last year, we had what? We had like 190 square feet of plants and dirt. And flowers. These are just trees that Timothy has started and saved because of, like for the trees that he cuts down, he's planted a bunch of native Michigan species around here. Some more are actually going to go, they're more native species are going to be planted in that backfield. Oh yeah, there's Timothy's on the right hand side sitting on the Kubota.
Yeah, we've been joking his jaw with whoever came got some compost for a while, but
Heck yeah.
we won't interrupt. But yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, we're all friends up here. We all stand here and we'll talk to each other forever.
This is where the magic happens, Belchicabella.
This is the hoop house. I tried to keep it as organized as I could for Maggie. But these are, oops. I actually planted seeds here, but none of it. I planted a Save the Bees mix here this year, but none of them have come up yet. But these are yarrow, salvia, and a millennium onion. And I planted, oh, this one's got a ton of buds on it. This one's gonna bloom soon. But I planted these and the salvia because last year we had all of our cannabis plants in here, and those are good companion plants for cannabis. And then this is, these are sunflowers, which are sprouting, yay! So I'm gonna plant sunflowers all around the property, which I did last year too. These are some of the starters, or the seeds that I started for Maggie. Lettuce, let's see, two different types of lettuces. This is beetroot. This is kale. Or no, I'm sorry, this is kohlrabi. These are ruby chard. This is the kale, sorry. Here's the kale. And bush beans, which I did not have success with last year because we planted them in the wrong hoop house. This is, most people think it's a weed. I mean, and it kind of is, but it's porcelain and it's actually edible. So we used to come out and collect it and we'd throw it in the salads or eat it as we go. My one tomato plant that I just bought randomly because I wanted it. But then these are all the starters that Timothy and I got from her name is Linda, and she's got this gigantic property. She starts all of these in all of her greenhouses, and yeah, she's the best. So we've got, let's see, which ones are these? We got so many. Oh, these are all of our tomatoes. So we've got 6 different types of tomatoes in here. Let's see, we got purple Cherokee. I'm trying to remember them all. Green zebra. Oh, we got like a tie-dyed version one, which is cool. It's like pinkleberry or something goofy. Then these are chards, mint, beans, a bunch of pole beans, more tomatoes, more kale, a bunch of different types of lettuces, rainbow chard, kale. There's still some carrots over there that we planted last year, some volunteer carrots. And then over here we started, I started all of these in the tray and transplanted them. I didn't do last year. Last year I just put them straight in the ground, so we're gonna see how that works. But all of these are Detroit red beets. And then there's 3 different types of radishes in here. And then that little plant is left over from last year. That was our kale bed. This is our kale and lettuce bed last year. And then over here was all of the tomatoes. Like this whole thing was filled with tomatoes. And by the end of the season, it was like up and growing onto the ceiling. And then
It's a load of tomatoes.
And then this whole side was peppers. And that is a chive that I planted last year as a companion for the beets, or no, for whatever I planted back here. This needs some love. I should probably do this before Maggie gets here. Before Maggie gets here, so she doesn't have to do it. But yeah, these are super prolific, just like mint. So if you plant one, it's gonna come back forever, which is why I didn't feel bad about pulling all the chives out of Timothy's perennial bed, because you seriously just need one seed and that's it. But yeah, time to water my buddies.
Real exciting stuff going on here.
Oh,
something for everybody.
Oh, I forgot about these. So these are seeds that Timothy just brought back from Palestine.
Yeah.
One of his friends, her name is Vivian, started, I think it's Palestinian Seed Project, I believe is the name. So what she does is she goes all around like the world, and she goes and collects these native seeds that are specific to their region, and she makes sure that she collects them and plants them and keeps them going so that the seeds don't go, like, for lack of a better phrase, like extinct. So she goes around and makes sure that all of those natural native species are protected, because with all the overdevelopment and that kind of stuff, it's really easy to knock out beneficial native species. So I just thought that was freaking awesome. Oh. So the ones that I planted, I need to plant some more. One's called Focus, which is kind of like a Palestinian cucumber. Like, I guess the closest thing would be a cucumber. And then Jadu, which is a watermelon-ish type thing. So that's what's in there. And I'm going to plant some more. We're going to see how it works here.
Cool. Pretty knowledgeable.
I I don't know anything. I just love plants. But, I mean, I feel like I don't know anything. There's always so much but I do, the dirt is my happy place, that's for sure. Spend so much time in the dirt. Okay. But yeah, we're watering it. This is probably, good thing it's not that warm today, but because this is probably a little bit too late in the day to be watering. Normally, well, last year we had an entire hose system with a timer all set up, and it would go off at like 7 in the morning because you want to water before it gets too warm during the day, because then otherwise you're not really, your plants aren't actually absorbing any of the water. You're just trying to keep up. But these guys, when we brought them home, got a good little drink and stayed outside for a while. So I just moved them in here the other day because I wanted them to be warm and happy. And then when Maggie gets here, I'll be interested to see how she's gonna like organize it all, because she's got a ton of greenhouse experience. I know how I do it. But that's just because I'm
knowledgeable.
Oh, check out the butterfly. During the summer. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. During the summer, it's awesome. You can walk in here and there's tons of white butterflies. And they just sit on the ground and they get little drinks of water and they get nutrients out of the soil. But it's just really cool to see because they're just all chilling, being peaceful. This little guy looks like he's confused.
There he goes.
There we go.
Oh, chew. Cool.
I wonder if that's a muff. I don't know. All the different native. Oh no! Oh, Timothy switched the hose. I didn't even notice. Happy plants.
Happy plants.
Franklin.
There he is, way out there.
Alrighty. There we go. Dollar store nozzle. Awesome.
Going in through the backside, I like it. Gotcha, Boa.
Yep. The other hoop house.
Don't seem like there's much going on here.
Nope, not quite yet. The neighbor's gonna. The neighbor has this half right here, which he just raked out and made it super, super pretty. This was our half last year, and you can tell the difference in the soil, because we inoculated ours with biochar and Timothy's compost. And this was our second tomato house, so there was big fencing that went all the way up to the ceiling, like in hoop 1, full of tomatoes, and we had cucumbers. I forget what was on the edge over there, but the neighbor grew his cannabis plants in the front, and now this year we're switching sides, so it's kind of kind of makes me sad because that soil is super sandy. But, you know, it's good to rotate. The other Airstream, other Airbnb. Kind of hard to tell, but the second house on the property for the original Food for Thought production used to be. They used to grow all their veggies and everything that they used to create their products and their food. They grew back here and then processed up there in a kitchen, or what used to be a kitchen in a facility, but now is being renovated into apartments. So there will be 3 apartments in that building by the time everything is finished. The old chicken coop. I don't remember how long ago it was since they had chickens, but this is chicken coop, and these are the piggies.
So who do we got here? Who's who?
All right, on the left is Blondie. She is the sassy one, definitely. She likes to be the alpha. And then next in the middle is her sister, Stripes. And I call them specifically by those kind of non-distinct names because eventually we are going to have a celebration of life with you guys, and then we're going to have lots of food. And, oh no, you know what? I'm sorry. In the middle is Mahogany. I used to call him Baby Boy, but I got him confused because when we got Blondie and Stripes, they were about 8-10 weeks old. And they were like this big, and Blondie was still blonde, but Stripes had these really dark hair, kind of like Mahogany. So yeah, I called them Blondie and Stripes because I didn't want to get too attached, knowing that one day that would be what we were doing. And actually, this pig pen didn't exist until last year. We built it last July. And again, out of like all reclaimed materials, most of this, like those metal poles over there are actually old like signposts. So they have that concrete basin on there, and all of this is all reclaimed wood from around the property and stuff that we already had lying around. So it took us a while to make this, between Timothy, James, and myself, to dig all the holes, measure it all out perfectly, put the gate in. But yeah, everything. The electric fence, don't touch it. Zapped myself a couple times, but luckily I had pants on.
Okay.
And yeah, here's part of the back of the house.
Yeah, let's see what kind of arm you got on you. Good job. A bunch of slop and whatnot right here in the back of the truck.
Yep, he goes up to Traverse City. Almost, well, not so much lately. They're not very busy, but goes up to Traverse City to a retirement facility and collects all of their food scraps and like extras. So most of it goes in the compost. Or that's where it used to go. Most of it used to go before we had pigs. So now it's great because there's enough for the compost, there's enough for the pigs to eat, and then a whole bunch of manure which will be added to the compost soon-ish from the neighbor down the street. So it's pretty cool because it's like, hey, I know you and you have this, and you know me and I have this, so everybody just kind of trades and everything works. That's the whole point of this place, is everything works together. It's regenerative and self-sustaining. Right, babies? What? Yeah, I know. I love you. Yeah. So Stripes and Blondie are ours. And Mahogany, who I call Baby Boy, because when I when he came here, he was even smaller than them. And he is Riches, the neighbor across the street. Okay, see you later. The back side of the main house, which used to be, Timothy used to live there, and where he lived there, and then eventually over time was building the main house on the other side, which he built out of all, again, reclaimed materials. But it's cool because he would go down to like these, they were taking down a barn, and he liked to collect the stories from where all of the materials came from. And it just so happened that with this particular barn, he was asking, like, hey, what's the story here? And this older gentleman, I think he was in his 90s, who had been part of the initial barn raising, said, oh my gosh, thank you for asking me about my story, because he had met his wife there so he helped raise the barn, and then, like, you know, they have that big barn event.
Mm-hmm.
That's the night he met his wife. They were married for years and years and years, and he was so emotional about the barn being torn down because they had so many memories. So Timothy collected all the stories of, like, all of the people like that.
That's a good thing.
And he wrote them down, put them in bags, and then tucked them into the walls of his house. So if somebody were to ever, like, renovate the house or take anything down, they would pull open the wall and be like, oh, this is the story of, like, where this particular panel came from. So I just thought that was really cool. And I thought it was really awesome that this guy was there for the raising and the takedown. And it meant so much to him that somebody asked and he got to tell his story. So I just thought that was cool.
What's up, bug? A bug is buzzing in my ear. Howdy.
How are you guys? Good.
Making a video today?
Hi.
Where are you interning from?
I came up from Southeast Michigan last year and fell in love up here, and I never left. So I live a couple miles down the road from here.
That's Tim, the mastermind of the whole operation.
He's making a walk.
What I did in my woofing experience in northern Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys growing here right now?
Not a lot. Okay, Ashley's been getting some stuff started, but I do have a woofer intern coming in a couple of weeks, or tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, I forget. And she's going to manage the whole farm, so it'll be a new version. I'm not engaging at all. I'm just going to provide input and training if they need it, and she's going to run the farm and sell the produce. And so kind of like a practice farm for her for the summer.
So, great.
Yeah. And so there'll be everything from, mostly veggies, I think.
Yeah. Tomatoes, beans, we got kales. Yeah, I was more the flower person.
Okay, cut flowers.
Oh yeah, so many. Like lots of pollinators. We've got like yarrow. I think I've got yarrow in there still. Millennium onions.
Kevin, do you need another scoop, or are you gonna
Take another scoop?
You will.
Yeah. I was very into companion planting. Like, here you go, babies.
Yeah,
But yeah. So
good luck.
yeah, thank you.
How have you obviously love it up here to stay. Is there like a good population of people here as well?
While she's entertaining them, I will show you guys this. This is what I've been predominantly working on. It would take me a minute to get there. I'm kinda slow. My commentary's not as good, but you know, whatever. This joint right here is like an old sauna or some shit. I'm gonna try and tone down on the cursing because she did a pretty good job at it. But I guess that's where we bounce each other out. Got some wood and stuff. That's a big tree. And this is where more magic happens. Flip the switch. My bad about my coughing. I don't know what it is, but I promise you it ain't Rona. But yep, I don't remember what this place looked like whenever I got here a couple weeks ago. But I'll definitely know what it looks like when it's finished. Been just doing a bunch of wiring and whatnot. This is where they used to make the jams and the jellies for food for thought. There's gonna be a steep staircase, but a staircase nevertheless. Yep, there's not much going on in here. Got a loft, pretty decent sized one, but I'm not climbing up there. Been putting in some insulation. This room's just about done. Me and a cat named John been working on this. But yeah, typical renovating. It's gonna be some apartments here soon. It's been a lot of fun, even though I have no clue what the heck I'm doing. But yeah. There's our, oh crap, I'm running into everything. Whiteboard is stiff. Obviously I gotta leave my art wherever I go. Let's go find the lovely ash. Over here, like 2 days ago, there was a ton of metal. But me and Timbo cleaned it out. It was like 2 tons, getting them gains. Pellets and tarp. Let's see. Yeah, I reckon I'll show you my crib real quick. That was a tree, multiple trees. Bunch of barrels, found no monkeys. Oh, a burn pit I have not used. It's going to be my temporary home until we figure out something else. And bam. I came up here with nothing except what was inside this thing. Yeah. Of course, I gotta have my controller. It's a little bear my mom gave me. my laptop, which I think I turned on maybe a total of 3 times, my speaker, which is always on, this happy little squirrel and the acorn-shaped cloud reminding me of Scrat. The fan, which I'm gonna turn on because it's kind of musty and feels not good in here. Coffee pot. You know, munchos, some bread. You know, the necessities. Ketchup. Ramen bowl thing. There's some ramen in here somewhere. Yeah. My artsy fartsy station. I was playing that thing earlier and the string broke, and now I gotta find a place to get proper strings or proper instrument for that matter, but that's what I've been jamming out on. I'm not, the world's greatest player, but this isn't necessarily the world's greatest thing to pick on either, but whatever. The fridge. Yep. Bologna, some cheese, some Coke. Hibachi, some food for thought stuff. Cherry raspberry. Strawberry basil. Some not jalapeno, but ghost pepper cheese. Not much going on here. Some beds. A mirror. Another mirror. And the bathroom. Just installed that a couple days ago. No one wants to see that. But yep, this is where I've been chilling. Gotta get it prettied up for Maggie to come here. But yep, that's about it. Let's check this out. Lots of compost. Does pretty good with it, as you can see. But yep, this is the farm and other things.
I thought that tree was talking to me for a second over there.
Yeah, I'm right out of Lord of the Rings, man.
Right on.
Some dude getting some compost right there.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I decided to stay up here, Mr. Franklin. I guess the odor's alright, but yeah. Yeah.
It's a different appreciate because maybe you force it. Well, she grew up in it, but it's nice to have another perspective where it's like,
Yeah,
my parents aren't like this.
absolutely. And she found it.
Well,
on
Ash,
her
any
own.
last thoughts?
So, I'm gonna go feed the pigs.
Welcome to
All right.
Northern
All
Michigan.
right,
We
guys.
love it here.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
What type of pigs do you have?
You're welcome to go check them out. I'm gonna go